We're making feijoada, but first you gotta go to Brazil, in the spiritual sense. Now back to Amari from 2 days ago. I'm back from class and I've been back for about an hour or so, but I'm letting myself have a little break before I actually go start cooking. I'm not actually hungry enough to eat the beans right now, so I think I'm gonna go ahead and cook them, have a sandwich, and then I'll go ahead and eat later on tonight. But I am gonna go ahead and start making some bread because I need some bread before tomorrow because I need a sandwich to go to work. And for the bread, I found this Japanese wine, so I'm gonna make some Japanese milk bread because I pretty much have everything I need. I'm on a spiritual quest to cook something from a bunch of places I've never been to before, but honestly that wasn't the intention of this video. I really just need to get rid of a lot of stuff I had left in the cabinet before I go grocery shopping, and I also just didn't feel like going that day and had everything at home already. When I was living in Spain, I really got put onto Brazilian food because it was the closest tasting thing to food I would have at my house. Hot take, but I don't really like Spanish food that much. It's by no means terrible or anything, it's just not my favorite. Low-key, the best food I had in Spain was at a Senegalese restaurant. I can never recreate the magic of Senegalese food, but sometimes I get pretty close to recreating the magic of these black beans. I told you this a few times, but I don't really eat bacon, so I normally get rib steak. But the kicker is that I've been eating so much rib steak and like using a bunch lately, I might as well just buy bacon and keep it in the freezer. If you're new here, I'm Amari and I really like cooking and showing other people, and I'm on a quest to become America's sweetheart essentially, so you should definitely like and subscribe. I'm here at least twice a week. So now we're gonna go ahead and saute this bacon. Not saute, I mean brown. We're gonna brown the bacon just to form a solid flavor base, but we're not gonna cook it with any oil or butter. We're just gonna let the natural fat render out so we can cook everything in it, because if you don't do it, it just might not taste as good. The general rule of thumb when it comes to making any soup or stew is making sure you saute all of your aromatic ingredients together with some form of fat, just so you have that solid flavor base. I don't know exactly how to describe it, but every time I haven't done this, it tastes weird. Just not the same. Now me personally, I just saute everything until the onions are kind of translucent and the sauce just get a little bit of color on them. Also guys, they weren't lying about that senior slow hitting you really hard. I genuinely don't feel like doing anything at all right now. And off to the side I have 5 cloves of garlic I just kind of chopped up and threw in too. I always put the garlic in at the end so it doesn't get bitter. And as soon as I can smell the garlic, that's when I add in the beans. This part is kind of unnecessary and extra, but I'm just going to do this anyway and make sure everything is kind of even in this pot because I like the idea of everything being properly dispersed. Even though it's all going to the same place. I'm going to use 2 beef bouillon cubes because that's what people normally do for this recipe, but I normally do chicken because for some reason I never use beef broth for anything. I do have like a large surplus of chicken broth and like chicken bouillon cubes too. We're gonna add in some salt and pepper and 2 bay leaves, and if you don't know what they do, they give you a really warm, slightly floral note that's just in the background of the beans. They're really good in anything you have to cook for a long time. And now we're gonna let that simmer for about 30 minutes and go ahead and finish this bread. I posted this full video on my TikTok and on my shorts a few days ago, so this isn't anything new for most of you. So my plan right now is just to kind of chat. And I know this is the first time you've probably ever seen me do bread the way you're supposed to and actually split everything up, get my whole mat out, get out the rolling pin. I don't do it too often, but I really feel like I had to redeem myself after I made that brioche, because just based on the comments alone, I don't think people were really watching that full video or really listening to anything I said about that bread. This was also my first time following a recipe that wasn't in English. Something I absolutely hate right now is that I can't get the overhead angles I like, and I can't make my TikToks out of my bed like I like to do because my stand is broken and I can't find the pieces. While I wait for that bread to rise, I'm gonna go ahead and try that wine. I don't think I've ever had a Japanese wine before, or any wine that wasn't from like Europe or the US. Unless you count soju, but I don't know if soju counts as wine necessarily. It says to enjoy it on the rocks or mixed with dry sparkling wine. I'm gonna drink this by itself first, even though it's at the serve chill and it's room temperature, and then I'm gonna try it again later on. Let's see. Oh. It's like this inside. I've never seen any wine with a pop tab before. I thought that was so cool. And I'm pretty sure I can reuse this bottle because it's just a regular glass bottle with a screw-on lid. So I kind of got to give Japan that one. Okay, I have a wine-soaked plum. I don't think I've ever had anything that tastes like that. I don't hate it. Eh. Yeah, way better with ice. Generally speaking, with bread, I normally let it rise to about 75% or 80% of the pan before I put it in the oven. I'm still not quite hungry, so I'm just gonna go ahead and wash my sheets, which is like the second time I've done this in the past week. But normally after I get done washing my sheets, I'm pretty hungry, so. Now that our beans are finally cooked all the way through, we're gonna crush up about a quarter cup and stir them back in. We're gonna release some of the starch by just kind of mashing them and then put them back. This is gonna help it get really glossy and thick like we want. And now I'm gonna stir our mashed beans back in and let it thicken up without the lid on. And this is also a really good time to start making your rice. Everything is gonna happen really fast. And now that we're done cooking, we're gonna go ahead and take out our bay leaves with a spoon, because if you leave them in there for too long or overnight, the food's gonna start tasting like medicine. I feel like more people should talk about that. They never exactly explain why you should take it out. Okay, so I felt fairly confident that this bread was gonna turn out fine, but when I sliced it with my knife, I was genuinely concerned it wasn't gonna have the stringy cotton candy look I was seeing in everyone else's video, but it turns out you just gotta pull it apart. So now it's that time where I go ahead and start making my thumbnail on camera because I keep forgetting to stop eating the food before I take the picture. I don't know where that came from, but that's been like a huge problem for me lately. It's time for the first bite, and I'm sorry for the really weird angles. I really can't find that stand. Let's see. I'm gonna make sure I get some of everything. A bite just like this. Thanks for watching. The food was good, and that's gonna be all for this video. This weekend I'm learning how to make empanadas and tostones, and I'm gonna make something Greek next week. I've never made anything Greek before. So I'll see you guys later, and don't forget to like and subscribe and watch my other videos.